Well, today we got the new blog post and roadmap for Season 4 for Black Ops 6 Zombies, and there's some unfortunate news for sure, but then there's things that make it not as unfortunate, as you guys will see why I say that here in a little bit. But with that said, drop a like and subscribe. But with that said, let's just jump over to this thing. I don't know what else to say right here, so let's just hurry up. And here's the roadmap for Season 4. And if we look at the zombie section, we can see what's going to be coming at the launch. There's going to be grief, gobblegums, ammo mods, challenges, and a new support. And then you see in season, we see limited time modes and events. And you may notice that there's something missing there. There is no mention of a zombies map, more specifically no DLC for Janice Towers to be seen here at all. And I think this does confirm that we are not going to be getting a zombies map during the season. And yes, that King of the Dead thing that you see in season is not a zombies map. That is an event that we'll talk about later. So yeah, there's not going to be a zombies map this season. And you may be thinking, well, you know, maybe it's going to be the reloaded season. But if it was reloaded, we see it in season. And you may think, well, why would they have to do that? They could just spoil it this early on. Well, yes, they would do that because that's what they did with the only other map that came out with a reloaded. That was Citadel de Mor. That came out with Season 1 reloaded. And when it came out with Season 1 reloaded, it was in the blog post at the start of Season 1. So to me, this is confirming that there is no zombies map this season. And this is unfortunate for two things. One, it means that we're going to have to wait till Season 5, which is a lot longer of a wait than we thought. We're going to have to wait for DLC 4. And two, and probably the more disappointing thing, is that there's only going to be 4 DLC maps for Black Ops 6 Zombies. And I know we should have expected 5, but a lot of people, myself included, I don't know why I said people, a lot of people, myself included, thought we were going to be getting 5 DLC maps. I mean, I lost faith in it like over the last month, but we all believed that that might have been the case. We're going to get a zombies map every single season, but now since we're not going to be getting one in Season 4, that kind of throws it out the window, because when is the 5th DLC going to come out? Like with Season 6? I mean, we don't even know if there's going to be a Season 6, and most time when there is a Season 6, it's not even a real season. It's kind of just like the Halloween update season anyway, so like, I just don't think we're going to be getting one here at all, which is a bit unfortunate, but I kind of expected this, so I'm not too hurt. But the bright side of this is that it looks like, because in the past we've had like you know, seasons that didn't have a new map and they were so dry, but this time around at least they're giving us something. Some people may think it's not enough, but at least there's something. Like, there's actual stuff coming in the zombies update, which is at least better than having nothing. And that's something to actually worth going over. And in fact, we should actually jump over to that right away, because the first new thing that we have, as you guys can see here, I mean, if you don't know what it is, let's go to this. Grief is returning from Black Ops 2 for the very first time. Like, it's the first time we're seeing Grief and forever. Now, there's actually changes to this, which we'll get into in a bit. Now, with Grief returning, well, they give us a quick summary. It says 4v4 competitive mode, where 2 teams outwit and outlast each other, capture zones to debuff enemies, no damage against other players, respawn every 3rd round. So the 2 big changes from the other one is that there's these new capture zones that debuff enemies, and also you can respawn every 3rd round instead of every round, which I think was a good change for it, which I think is kind of destroys one of the strategies people used to get to really high rounds, but it at least makes it more of the idea of what Grief is supposed to be. But the available maps is all the maps, and there's actually some restrictions. No wonder weapons. Was that a thing in the original one? Because I swear I remember using the, what's it called, the paralyzer. I don't know, but either way, some Gobblegums are restricted. Some of these make sense. Exit strategy, idolize, wonder bar, timeout, and flavor hex. Oh, well, they spoiled something that's returning flavor hex, so that's cool. But it says first time since Black Ops 2. Now, they actually over-explain everything, so I'm only going to read what I believe is necessary. First off, we'll just summarize what they say here. It's an indirect PvP. We've already known that, but you can still interact with the other team by body blocking them or slowing them down by using melee, bullet-based weapons, or projectiles. So just like the original Grief, you can shoot at your team, the enemy team, that stuns them slightly. So that's cool. Win conditions is just as you expect. The win conditions is whoever managed to grief the rivals by being killed or by entering in downstate. As long as one or more of the team members is upright, the match continues, just like we expected. And then we see an image of it, which you may notice something interesting right away, is why is the pack punch machine there? That's not normally where it's at. So that's interesting. But they also talk about these Grief arenas, which I kind of want to go over first. Let's just go over these. So the grief arenas actually limit the areas of the map that you could actually play, and there's going to be 11 different ones in total. So they really just got the maps that we have and chopped them into little sections. And in fact, actually, let's read this part right here where it says, grief arenas are clearly defined areas where any critical doors have already been opened, the power is already on, will already be turned on, all of the doors are inactive. Both teams spawn on opposing sides of the arena. Okay, so that's kind of how it's going to work. So that's interesting, but the actual arenas are here. You're going to have 2 for Liberty Falls, 2 for Terminus, 1 for Citadel for some reason, 2 for the Tomb, and then 4 for Shattered Vale. And the areas, Pay Pump, Mortar Lounge, and okay, so that's the Liberty Lane. So that's just from the bowling alley to spawn, it sounds like. And I mean, you guys know where these are. I don't think we need to go over this. The Hilltop, Biolab, you know, all these make sense. This one sounds crazy though. The Manure Foyer, Overlook, East Foyer, and Library. Or is this that one? Yeah, that one. Oh, no, this one. West Hallway, South Balcony, and Bottlery. That sounds like a crazy tight area. That one might be fun just to troll on, because I don't think people are going to survive very long on that. But that's one thing. And I mean, I kind of figured this might be the case because I'm pretty sure that's how the original Grief worked, but I was really hoping you could involve Easter eggs somehow in this, but considering we're getting locked to specific areas, that's obviously not going to be the case. Hopefully they decide to add like a Easter egg versus mode, an Easter eggs version of Grief one day in the future. That'd be so cool, just like racing to do the main Easter egg, except 2 teams on the same map. Like, it'd be so cool. But either way, also we do get like kind of previews of all these areas. We have this one, Liberty Falls. It's going to be church area, the Biolab area, the entrance to the whatever it's called, but you know, you see all these, so there's all that. So with that, let's actually go back to this. Player respawning, this is changed slightly, and instead of respawning if you like die and then, you know, come back to life, it's not the next round. Instead, it's the every 3 rounds, which we already talked about earlier, which is interesting, every 3rd round. And I think I know why, and it's because of this one down here, because it says zombie rounds will progress faster than usual, so that's probably the reason why. Another thing in this player respawning is that you can interrupt someone from reviving their teammates. You could do it by just like shooting at them, as we talked about earlier, stunning them. That was an original thing, the undead enemies, but also shock charges. That's going to be annoying. There's that, but there's join in progress. They say you could join up until round 10, but after round 10 you cannot join anymore. And salvage, essence and salvage, unlike in standard playlist, salvage pickups in Grief are worth up to 100 salvage, visible to all players, and can only be picked up by the first player to grab them, which is hilarious. So that's cool. And then they say the core mechanics, and pretty much everything in normal zombies is going to be there. Arsenal, pack punch, mystery box, crafting tables, perk machines, Gobblegums, minus the ones we already went over, armor wall buys, and their Wonder Fizz will all be available. So that's all cool. They just explain why, you know, some of them are not being played, but we know why those ones probably aren't going to be played. And then there's the new feature. This is the one I really wanted to skip to right away. So it says Plan A, survive, Plan B, capture zones. So appearing in regular cadences during the match, there are small areas within the Grief arena where players are required to stand in and earn specific type of kills, triggering a Grief on the opposing team. Now, I'm pretty sure the challenges are practically going to be the exact same things that we see in the SAM trials, but we'll have to wait and see. But right here we have an example of it, the zones they're standing in. It doesn't really show how tight this area is. I thought it'd be a little bit smaller, but there's that. So that's kind of a peek of it, but the new thing is the actual Grief. But one thing I find interesting is that they kind of repeat the same thing here. They beckon your crew to quicken to the zones and get your kills and whatever. But then they say, note that if neither team reaches the requirement on the countdown before the countdown ends in the captured zone, the Grief is applied to both teams. So they really want you to do that. You can't just both teams ignore it, because then you guys are both going to be griefed. But now the question is, what is a Grief? Well, it says right here, it's a temporary debuff penalty or negative gameplay mechanic that you can inflict on a rival team after capturing a zone. And here's all of them here. First off, weapon nerf. The affected players inflict considerably reduced damage to zombies, so your gun just deals less damage. Not ideal. Then you have ammo drain. All ammo-based weapons, including those stowed, receive an ammo drain with bullets or shells being removed constantly while the Grief is active. So you can run out of ammo pretty fast. That might be the best one. But let's keep reading. Zombie ambush. An elite enemy is summoned and solely focuses on killing the power of the enemy team until either the elite enemy or the team is defeated or the timer runs out. Wait, so it turns off the power, so how are you going to turn the power back on? that might be an interesting thing. I'm kind of curious about that, but I guess if power's turned off, you don't have Pack-a-Punch or maybe perks. I wonder how that's going to work, because perks are normally active even without power sometimes, right? You know, based on the map you're playing, I guess. Either way, though, that could be interesting. Then you have weapon carousel. The rival player's weapons are randomly swapped every few seconds. Okay, that's literally a Gobblegum from Black Ops 3, and that could actually potentially be a really good one, a really bad one, because like, what if it, like, whatever gun you're stuck with at the end of the carousel, if you don't get back your gun that you had to start, and you just get left with whatever random gun you got, which could be a potential hilarious thing that you could do to an opposing team if they had a gun they really liked and now it's gone. Then finally, we have Frozen. The grief reduces the enemy's player's movement along with the frost and ice coating on the characters. Oh, okay, that's probably the worst one actually to have. Okay, I'm pretty sure they're just going to reuse the thing that we saw with the Jingle House thing, which was interesting or whatever. So yeah, those are the debuffs. And then we have this thing that I don't really understand. It says Grief and Capture Zone introduce new score types, including Capture Kill Zone, awarded to player who defeats a zombie type during the successful capture of a zone completion. Capture Zone to win, awarded to all players on a team who successfully commandeer Capture Zone. Capture Zone Elite kill, awarded to a player who slays an elite enemy, elite spawn in a Capture Zone. So what is this for though? Like new score types? Is that just like more XP, like more score on the scoreboard board, or what is the point of this? I'm not sure what this is, but whatever. And then also we already went over this and just the arena. So that's everything with Grief. That's how the new Grief is going to work. It's the same thing, except, you know, just, you know, specifics to Black Ops 6, obviously, with its mechanics. But more importantly is that you respawn every 3 rounds. And also there's the new capture zones and the Griefs that come along with that. But at the end of the day, the main goal is to survive longer than the other team. And that's how you win. So great stuff. Now, of course, we'll go over all the other stuff. Now, we're also getting new Dark Ops challenges, and it says like a new set of them, of calling cards with bounded XP and all that good stuff. So it looks like that maybe there's one tied to Grief. So it looks like we're getting more of them. So I wonder how many new Dark Ops challenges we are going to get. Hopefully they're actually more than just like the DLC ones that we didn't get, like when you complete the Easter egg or whatever. Hopefully like we get like some challenges, like similar to one with like doing the Easter egg on Terminus around 50, stuff like that would be really cool. But the Grief one, we'll see how that one turns out too, I guess. But then there's some mid-season stuff. We'll come back to that in a second. But now we have other things returning, which is an ammo mod returning, which is Shatter Blast at launch. If you guys don't know how Shatter Blast works, it activates an explosion, and any zombies hit with it will be damaged. But more importantly, their armor will be knocked off against them. So it's really great at dealing with armored zombies and manglers, as you guys can see, for example, here, because you won't have to deal with their armor no more. Great stuff. Now, after that, we actually do have new additions, which is obviously the ammo mod. So let's go over these. For the major augments, we have Big Game. Shatter Blast can be used against elite enemies, except an impressively expect an impressively sized explosion. Sorry, I've been reading a lot here. I just losing my voice a little. Blast chain on explosion. 3 additional explosions occur in rapid succession. That might be the one I'm going to be running. Blast repair for every enemy that has armor destroyed by Shatter Blast. Armor health will be restored to the player. That could be potentially good too, just based on how often it activates, so that could be interesting. But then for the minor augments, Blast Zone, increase the size of the explosion. Okay, that could be, honestly, combining that with Blast Chain might be insane. Honestly, that could be crazy. Then it says Blast Boost, increase the explosion damage. I mean, based on how much damage it does, but I'm not high expectations for that. And then Blast Wave, normal enemies are knocked down by the explosion. Okay, to me, this sounds like the best one, this combo. That I feel like that's what I'm going to aim for first, but potentially on how good it is a Big Game. Like, Big Game's always a hit or miss, is either really good or really bad. And then Blast Repair based on that. But for now, I'm feeling Blast Chain with a Blast Zone. That might be crazy. Just knock off all the enemies' armor right away. Could be great. But then we have 3 new Gobblegums. And the first one we have is the epic one, this first one here, Explosive Flourish. reloading your weapon creates an explosion around you. Gobblegum lasts 2 minutes. That actually might be like a really good boss fight one, just so when you're trying to focus on the boss and you get swarmed by zombies randomly, that could be really good, because the fact that it lasts 2 minutes, I don't think it's going to be great for normal play, but for boss fight play, it might be a great one to add to just to add to your cycle, I guess. And then we have Flavor Hex, which I think got spoiled earlier in this blog post, but Flavor Hex activates a random Ultra Gobblegum. Wait, I did not know it was going to be Ultra, because the OG Flavor Hex was just a random Gobblegum, but now it's a random Ultra. That I do like. This is cool. We like Flavor Hex now. Big fans of Flavor Hex. I was going to say it's a whatever one, like why is this one a legendary, but that's actually really cool. I like that a lot. Great stuff. But then, of course, we do have a whimsical, which is Rain Burps. Zombies killed bleach sparkling rainbow bubbles. So there's going to be burping bubbles. Okay, whatever. It's a whimsical, whatever. And that's it for the launch stuff. Now let's quickly go over the in-season stuff. First off, we have a new score streak, which is the Grim Reaper, and it's going to cost 2,000 salvage. And as you guys see, you can see here, it's a semi-automatic bazooka. It has 4 bullets in its semi-automaticness, so it can shoot 4 in a row, but then you actually will have to reload it, which is interestingly enough, I think it says somewhere here it has 12 bullets in total. I could have read that somewhere. Just trust me on that, because I'm not reading through all of this right now. A dozen rockets, so yeah, it's going to have 12 bullets in total, so we'll see how good that is. But if we go back here, we actually have some of the modes that we saw. Oh yeah, okay. Now this first one actually sounds really cool. It's starting room. I think we know what that means. It says, inspired by the starting room from the classic Moon Zombies map, drop into with 3 of your zombie crewmates into a more straightforward but challenging experience where you're locked into the first zone of a map. Raptor 1 is gone. Those undead hordes only get stronger. But all the doors of the initial zone, in the initial zone are unlocked. Wait, what does that mean? Surviving the highest round you get. Wait, well, what does it mean the doors are unlocked? There should be no doors unlocked. Initial zone? Like, what does that mean? What, are they just expanding some of the spawn rooms? Like, what's the point of the starting room, except some of the doors are open? Am I misreading that? But all the doors in the initial zone are unlocked? Maybe that means locked. Maybe there was a typo here. I feel like that has to be a typo, because what's the point of that? Like, that has to be what it is. Like, that has to be a typo. But anyways, then we have another limited time mode, Abomination Challenge. Enter a warped version of Liberty Falls during the mid-season event. Hunt down an ultra-powered abomination. Perhaps it's wise to bring backup. I honestly don't know what that could mean, honestly. Are they going to add the Mega Abomination from, what's it called? The Modern Warfare Zombies into that? I mean, that could be fun or interesting. That's cool. But, yeah, that's actually interesting. I'm actually kind of interested in these mid-season updates. I'm not normally interested in limited time modes, but that one does sound interesting. Also, the fact that they don't say Grief is a LTM limited time mode is a good sign also. Okay, here's the event. So you have the Belnier event, which is whatever. We're looking for the mid-season one. So this, okay, here's the mid-season one. Here's the zombie one. I think King of the Dead right here. This is probably, we're going to be getting the new score streak, so that's cool or whatever. It's going to be, oh, there's 2 events actually. The King of the Dead is June 26th to July 3rd, and July 10th to July 12th. King of the Dead, eliminate zombies in any mode to earn points to climb up the leaderboard. Oh, is there going to be a leaderboard? Dang, that's actually a really cool event. Like, you see your name, if you're like a top slayer, you see yourself on the leaderboard. Like, that's actually, see, that's a good event. Oh my gosh, that is such a cool event, actually. That is, I like that a lot. And then Master of Grief, collect essence in grief to earn points, climb the leaderboard. So, that's whatever. The first one's really cool, though. I do like that a lot. I wonder what the rewards are going to be if, like, you are actually the top of that leaderboard. That could be really cool. But either way, that's everything with Season 4. Started off disappointing, but honestly, with this, at least we're not being dry. At least it's not nothing during, you know, the season, right? At least we're getting something, like a starting room challenge mode. Like, that's really cool. Maybe whatever that abomination stuff is really cool. We have a actually cool zombies event. Grief is returning, which I was never the biggest fan of Grief back in the day, but maybe it's going to be good now. I don't know. So overall, I'm glad with what we have compared to what we had in the past. It's not ideal, right? Ideally, we get a new zombies map every map, or every season, excuse me. So, I mean, that would be the ideal, but unfortunately, that's just not what's going to happen here. And at least we're getting at least something throughout the season, which is something we didn't get in the past. But either way, though, that's going to wrap it up for me. Thank you guys all so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.